My name is Olivia, I'm 18 and I'm from Atlanta. I was diagnosed with epilepsy when I was 11. Having a chronic illness, there's definitely a lot that comes with it. Not knowing what to expect and when to expect something to happen. Over a couple months, the doctors tried to figure out different options to help my seizures lessen, and they determined I was a candidate for epilepsy surgery. My processing became much slower, and that affected the way I learned. I became very frustrated with the way I learned because I was very different than other kids. I didn't feel normal anymore. I soon resorted to self-harm, which did not help manage my emotions, and it only made it worse. There was probably a good 3 years when I kept everyone in the dark and they didn't know what was going on. I always had the heavy guilt that just weighed me down a lot. I was in like a constant state of I was just shut down, just consistent suicidal thoughts, self-harm thoughts. That just all that went through my head. I told myself it was broken, unfixable. Parents realized I needed more therapy and something different after I was discharged from the mental hospital and I had another self-harm incident. When I first arrived at Skyland, I was very nervous, but I was very excited at the same time because I'd never had any extra kind of help and I was really desperate for something to help me. It was helpful to have other people around me who were struggling because I didn't have anybody like that at home. My favorite part of the day at Skyland was fitness with Kevin and horticulture with Marisol. The hardest part of the week was processing why I had the problems I had and getting to the root of them, especially when I was in DBT group, figuring out these different skills and how to apply them to my problems. I learned to change the way I was thinking, the way that my emotions affected me. When I'm in a difficult situation today, I'm able to recognize that emotion before and manage it instead of completely shutting down or blowing it out of proportion and getting very frustrated. Recovery doesn't end after treatment. There's still a lot to do afterwards. For example, I go to therapy regularly. I make sure I take my medication. I have a lot of different ways I distract myself, make sure I talk to my parents about it. I wouldn't have been able to get where I am today without my parents, my sisters, my treatment team, everyone who kept pushing me to the finish line to continue working on myself. I hope to be able to open a plant business, and someday I'd like to be able to speak about chronic illness and mental health and how they correlate together. Before Skyland, I knew that none of my goals were going to be reached, so I didn't put much effort into them. But now I know that I can reach my goals, so I can put my 100% into it and know that I can get there.